Like to make us for good fire, right, boys? Yeah, let's feel the my phone.
Shouldn't play with matches. Nothing like a nice piece of hickory.
You're not going to Josh! Come on, Josh! No. You're not going to...
Maybe he'd like to watch you dance.
I don't know how to dance.
It's easy. You just move your feet.
Steady! Stay where you are, boys!
Some music, gentlemen.
Through?
Fan out. Find him.
The story begins when a miner named Holbert and several other men are working a claim deep inside a canyon called Carbon Canyon. Out of nowhere, they're attacked by a group of armed riders. But the attackers aren't there to kill anyone. Their goal is intimidation, to scare the miners into abandoning the land. And to some extent, it works. Several miners begin packing up their gear, ready to leave before things get worse. Holbert, however, refuses to back down. He rides into town to buy supplies, but before long, he's ambushed again and beaten nearly unconscious by a gang of thugs.
Nothing like a nice piece of hickory.
Shaken but grateful, Holbert chases after the man and invites him back to the camp for the night, where Sarah and her daughter Megan are living with him like family. While the stranger is bathing, Holbert notices his back is covered in old bullet scars, but he chooses not to ask questions. Sarah is suspicious at first. She believes a gunfighter only brings trouble wherever he goes. But the moment the stranger puts on a black coat with a preacher's collar and introduces himself as a preacher, her attitude immediately softens. That night, he shares dinner with the family. The following morning, he helps Holbert break apart a massive rock formation in hopes of finding gold beneath it. Right then, Josh, LaHood's son, arrives alongside a thug who claims to be a deputy sheriff looking to start trouble.
You work done now, preacher?
Part of it leastways.
Afterward, Holbert keeps working the rock and finally strikes gold for real, reigniting hope throughout the camp.
You know I was right! Real? Look at it.
To celebrate, everyone heads into town. But once there, the preacher is taken by Josh to meet LaHood himself. LaHood tries to buy him off, hoping to get him out of the way. But the preacher flatly refuses. Worse still, he exposes LaHood's fake mining permits right to his face, infuriating the wealthy landowner. Enraged, LaHood threatens to bring in the infamous Marshal Stockburn if the miners don't leave within 24 hours. The preacher calmly answers with a condition of his own.
These people in Carbon Canyon, would you be willing to pay cash for their claims?
Well, hell, I'd do anything to prevent bloodshed.
How about 1,000?
I tell you what, I come up to 125.
Stockburn and his deputies will cost you a lot more than that.
How would you know?
How much is it worth to have a clear conscience?
But I want them out of here in 24 hours.
That night, the miners argue fiercely over whether they should stay or run while they still can. In the end, they decide to stand and fight, despite knowing Stockburn is a ruthless killer who rides with 6 deadly deputies. The next morning, the preacher rides out alone and heads straight to LaHood's hydraulic mining operation, where entire hillsides are being torn apart by powerful water cannons. There, he tells Josh directly that the miners are not leaving. Meanwhile, a miner nicknamed Spider discovers a huge amount of gold. Excited beyond belief, he takes his young son into town to celebrate. But that celebration quickly turns tragic. Inside town, Spider comes face to face with Stockburn and his men, who arrive cold, silent, and terrifyingly calm. Without hesitation, they gun Spider down in front of everyone. Elsewhere, Megan is riding near LaHood's hydraulic mining site when Josh suddenly attacks her. Later, Spider's body is brought back to camp, leaving everyone horrified and shaken. The preacher tells them Spider's mistake was going off alone. If they want to survive, they have to stand together. The following morning, the preacher and Holbert ride into town together, but before they arrive, they stop at LaHood's mining operation and plant explosives, destroying the entire hydraulic system and throwing the site into complete chaos. During the confusion, the preacher deliberately separates from Holbert, telling him to return to camp and protect Sarah and Megan while he heads into town alone. Once there, he walks into the general store and calmly sits down to drink coffee, using himself as bait to lure out the same thugs who nearly killed Holbert earlier. The moment they make their move, he guns them all down in seconds. Then he steps outside and faces Stockburn and his deputies in the middle of the street.
No!
And with that, the truth finally becomes clear. This preacher was never just an ordinary man of God. What do you think about the preacher's true identity? Was he really seeking redemption, or was he simply a gunfighter who could never escape his violent past? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next Western recap.